Hello everyone. Over my next few tutorials, I'd like to talk about how temperature is defined scientifically, as well as all of the relevant sciences related to temperature and how it relates to other things, such as work, when we study thermodynamics. Like with the other concepts, like how things move, geometry, and so on, I like to start at the most simplest details first and then progress into the most complicated. You're most likely already well aware of what it means for something to feel hot or cold. But in science, you must be very objective and quantify what you are talking about instead of using a subjective or vague measurement. So for that reason, there are three traditional temperature scales that are often used, which are degrees Fahrenheit, degrees Celsius, and degrees Kelvin, where degrees Kelvin is more often used in industrial applications, whereas degrees Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius are more well known. A common tool to objectively measure how hot or cold something is a thermometer, where the red part will rise the hotter the object is. And in fact, the Fahrenheit, Celsius, and Kelvin scales are calibrated using thermometers. The Celsius scale is the most easiest to read and understand because it uses the freezing point of water as 0 and the boiling point of water as 100. So, the more older name for it is the centigrade scale as a reference to how it uses a scale from 0 to 100 for these two specific points. The more common measurement you see in the US is the Fahrenheit scale, where the freezing point of water is 32 degrees and the boiling point of water is 212 degrees. We notice doing the math that the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales have different steps between these 2 points. And in particular, we see the difference between these 2 points is 100 in Celsius and 180 in Fahrenheit exactly. So we conclude logically that the Celsius degree is exactly 1.8 times larger 1 degree on the Fahrenheit scale, or 9/5. But that is not the full story for the conversion because we have two different beginning points, so we have to add to one of them to convert fully to the other one as well. In particular, we state that Fahrenheit is exactly 9/5 times Celsius plus 32, where the plus 32 comes from the fact that Fahrenheit starts at 32 while Celsius starts at 0. So now we can lastly discuss the more technical scale, the Kelvin scale, which has a 0 reference point of absolute 0, or when an object has 0 heat energy overall. But fortunately for us, the steps between each number on the Kelvin scale exactly match the steps on the Celsius scale, so there's no multiplication needed, only an addition. And to be specific, the Kelvin scale is exactly the Celsius scale plus 273.15. So because Kelvin is used for absolute 0, an objective measurement of the coldest possible temperature, the Kelvin is often used as the international unit for temperature in scientific work. So now that we know how to convert from Celsius to the other two systems, we can simply convert between the three systems in either direction by memorizing the original equations and manipulating them. Now that we have gone over how the temperature scales work, we can discuss an important concept related to how thermometers work, which is called thermal expansion, and explains exactly how a thermometer works because the part inside that is red expands more than the other materials. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.